The reality you think you know is made of countless layers of deception. From the instant you're born, you're flooded with beliefs, principles, and expectations that aren't truly yours. These falsehoods are planted so deep within your mind that they start to feel like reality, and you're trained to treat them as undeniable truths. The world shows you a version of life that seems gentle, comforting, and sentimental. A world where kindness is rewarded and moral virtue is the ultimate goal. But this portrayal is a fabrication, a set of tools crafted to enslave you, to tether you to a system that benefits only those who manipulate and control, keeping you blind to the actual forces that shape existence. Real awareness begins when these illusions crack and you face the harsh, unfiltered truth about how things truly operate. You'll come to realize that life isn't governed by justice or equality, but by dominance, strategy, and influence. The ones who reach the top are not the kindest or the most truthful. They are the ones who play the game with cold precision, calculated awareness, and the knowledge that ethics are often just a method of control used to keep the masses obedient. The myth of morality restrains the weak, leaving them open to exploitation by the strong. To uncover who you really are, you must dismantle the story you've been told, the idea that selflessness is noble, that surrendering your own wants for some abstract greater good is virtuous. That notion exists to weaken you. To fully live, you have to strip away those narratives and examine life with clear eyes, free from the filters imposed by culture and society. There is no calling higher than your own advancement, and the moment you embrace that, you begin to take charge of your destiny. They tell you that joy comes from relationships, from kindness, from giving, that fulfillment lies in connection. But that too is an illusion, a carefully crafted lie meant to stop you from grasping the true engine behind life. Chasing happiness implies dependence on others, on uncontrollable circumstances. This is vulnerability. To find yourself, you must accept that true satisfaction doesn't come from being validated, but from mastering yourself. The second you stop chasing approval and trying to conform to a script that was never yours, you begin the path to strength. Society sells you a romanticized dream where good always wins and life is simple, but the reality is brutal and unforgiving. Those in power exploit, deceive, and manipulate without hesitation, bending the system for personal advantage. The faster you see this, the faster you can begin to play by your own rules. Life is not a story of fairness. It's a competition for control. Once this sinks in, you shed the weight of disappointment and no longer view the world through naive eyes. You begin to see the truth. The world is a war zone, and only the strategic and relentless emerge victorious. By rejecting the dream, you start to lift the veil on your own ignorance. Maybe you once thought your worth came from being accepted, being seen as good, meeting some imagined standard of success. But those ideas were distractions, barriers between you and your potential. When you escape these lies, you start to live authentically. You stop playing the role they wrote for you and take ownership of the game. That's where real life begins, when you abandon the script and begin to create your own. To find yourself is not to seek redemption, but to embrace survival. It's not about being noble. It's about being capable, commanding, and able to shape reality to your will. The chase for happiness is a trap. It's the pursuit of influence that truly matters. Power is what gives you the means to define your own reality, to bend the world to your desires, and to break free from the roles others expect you to fill. Once you understand that power drives the world, you begin to see the systems at work and how to maneuver through them. You'll understand that your whole life you've been shaped, not just by others, but by your own misguided ideas about how the world works. Only when you tear down these fantasies and recognize that power is the true currency of existence can you move beyond your current limits. The life that lies ahead, once you break free from illusion, is one of vast potential and complete control. You must start to view the world for what it is, a place where those who manipulate, deceive, and dominate are the ones who rise. To discover who you are is to see this truth and place yourself not as a pawn, but as the player. Only then will you live not as a servant to society's dreams, but as the ruler of your own path. Power is never something given, nor is it earned through good intentions, kindness, or virtue. It is taken. Power must be taken, fought for, and forged through deliberate action and cold calculation. The world is not a place where the deserving are rewarded. No, it is a battlefield, and only the strong, the calculating, and the ruthless emerge victorious. If you wait for power to be handed to you, you will wait forever. No one is coming to give you the life you desire. Those who hold power are not the ones who ask for it. They take it. They understand that in this world, survival depends on taking control, and they have no illusions about how power works. The moment you cease to wait and start acting is the moment you begin your true ascent. Power lies not in passivity or in patiently waiting for opportunities to present themselves. It lies in seizing what you want and never asking for permission. The first step is accepting that the world does not owe you anything. No one will hand you the keys to success because you deserve it. Success is a conquest, and you must act accordingly. You will encounter countless voices claiming that hard work, integrity, and perseverance are the keys to success. But these are illusions designed to enslave you, to keep you believing that your worth is measured by how much you sacrifice. Those who rise to the top don't do so by being the hardest workers. They rise because they understand the nature of power, and they know how to exploit it. They do not wait for the right moment. They claim power through decisive action, recognizing that every opportunity is a battlefield. Only the shrewdest and most relentless survive. Power is a matter of perception and manipulation. To acquire it, you must make others see you as someone who deserves it. The public does not respond to virtue. It responds to influence and control. The more you appear to be a force, the more others will follow or at least get out of your way. To seize power is to master the art of influence. It is not enough to be strong. You must wield your strengths, manipulate the situation, and turn every move to your advantage. Power is about understanding what others want, seeing their weaknesses, and positioning yourself as the answer to their problems. Those in authority didn't arrive there because they were the most deserving. They arrived because they learned to exploit every advantage. To take power, you must play the game, not by the rules others set, but by the rules you create. Understand, power is not freely given. It is fiercely guarded. If you want it, you must be ready to challenge those who already hold it. This is not for the faint of heart. It requires cunning, strategy, and the willingness to do what others will not. The weak avoid conflict. They seek peace, follow the rules, and hope to be rewarded for their virtue. The strong understand that peace is an illusion. Power is taken through confrontation, not compromise. If you want what's rightfully yours, you must overcome everyone in your path, ally or adversary. Taking power is not an act of kindness. It is an act of force, of overwhelming resistance. It's about knowing when to strike, when to wait in the shadows, and when to act without hesitation. Those who hesitate remain subordinate. Power is a game of timing. Only those who understand when and how to move will succeed. And when you choose to claim power, you must discard every illusion of fairness. Fairness is a myth designed to keep you obedient. Power does not care for equity or justice. It cares for control. Those who understand this thrive. The system is rigged. The only way to win is to bend it to your will. Power is not granted, it is taken. Assert yourself. Prove you're willing to do whatever it takes. Influence, control, manipulation, these are your tools. Power is not about who you are, it's about who you appear to be. Identity is a weapon, not a truth. What matters is not your authenticity, but your image, your mask. The mask you wear defines how others treat you, how they respond to you, and whether they obey you. In this world, reality doesn't matter, perception does. Every interaction is a performance, every gesture part of the act. You must master the mask, hone it, refine it. It is your first line of offense and defense. Do not be bound by a single identity. The one who wears only one mask is trapped by it. But the one who can wear many is free to adapt, to dominate, to win. The more masks you can wear, the more power you hold. The mask must fit the moment. Sometimes you must be a compassionate leader. Other times, a ruthless opponent, or a silent observer. Power lies in knowing which mask to wear and when. The mask hides your weaknesses, your motives. It is your illusion and your strength. The best manipulators act not just with words, but with presence, silence, confidence. The more convincing the mask, the more others will believe in it and follow it. Your mask becomes your reality. Control how others see you, and you control them. The more effectively you shape perception, the more power you gain. The mask is your greatest weapon, because no one suspects the illusion. And once you master it, they will trust you, fear you, admire you, and never even realize they've surrendered. Whether you aim to be seen as a kind leader, a shrewd tactician, or an invisible force behind the scenes, you must adopt the persona that best fits your objective in any given situation. It's not about staying true to your inner self, it's about reading the moment and bending it in your favor. As you grow more adept at donning different personas, you'll start to predict how others will respond and adjust your behavior to stay ahead. You'll begin to sense which roles serve you best in specific scenarios, becoming an expert in social dynamics. Those who cling too tightly to their sense of self become prisoners of it, incapable of adapting to shifting power structures. But you, wearing many faces, can slip in and out of roles with ease, capitalizing on every opening that presents itself, never restrained by a fixed identity. Your mask is your most effective tool. It lets you influence how others see you and mold your surroundings to suit your desires. The capacity to shape your identity around your needs is what allows you to gain mastery over your environment and reach your ambitions. It's what separates those who are used from those who do the using. In the realm of influence, relationships are not built on sentiment or trust, but on benefit. A partner is not a companion, they are an asset, a resource to be deployed and dismissed as needed. Any connection you make should be based on value, not on emotion or illusion. The quicker you accept that everyone has their own hidden motives, the faster you'll see that your only real loyalty must be to yourself. Those around you are not your confidants or peers, they're stepping stones toward your endgame. When forming an alliance, it's essential to know the flaws as well as the strengths of the other party. Don't be fooled by the appearance of unity. Everyone has weak points, and those can be used to your gain. A partner only matters as long as they're useful. Once they're not, they become a risk that must be eliminated. Loyalty is a fantasy believed only by the naive. Real influence isn't built on shared ideals, but on mutual interest. To keep your position, You must constantly reevaluate your alliances as circumstances evolve. As your fortune shifts, so too must your allegiances. An ally today may stand in your way tomorrow if their goals diverge from yours. Power isn't something fixed, it flows, and it requires constant recalibration. Those who truly excel at wielding power understand that every relationship is transactional. Every person you meet is a potential asset to be steered, shaped, or exploited for your advantage. There's no place for emotion in this equation. Alliances must be judged solely on their tactical value. Never let yourself become emotionally attached, as it will blur your vision. If you start to buy into the illusion of closeness or loyalty, you open yourself up to betrayal. The most dangerous threats often come from those closest to you, not because they plan to harm you, but because you allowed yourself to trust. In this game, loyalty must always remain conditional. Those who help you today might hinder you tomorrow, and you must stay flexible, ready to cut ties without hesitation. Everyone, whether they admit it or not, acts out of self-interest. To succeed, you must accept this as fact and turn it to your benefit. The most effective way to earn someone's allegiance is by tying their success directly to your own. People aren't loyal to you. They're loyal to what you offer. If you provide power, stability, or advancement, they will stay close. But the moment you can no longer serve them, they'll turn to whoever can. That's why your partnerships must always be based on mutual gain. Don't forget, you're the one dictating the terms. Remember, too, that not all alliances must be public. Some partners work best in the open. Others are more useful in the background. A visible ally might gain too much influence over you if they fail. A hidden partner, however, gives you control. Their actions remain unseen, under your direction. The most powerful figures manage these layers skillfully, influencing others while keeping authority in their own hands. Be ready to replace allies the moment they outlive their usefulness. Those who cling to old connections out of nostalgia or fear of confrontation are bound to fall behind. Understand that every partnership is temporary. That's the nature of power. When a connection no longer offers returns, it must be cut loose, regardless of past loyalty. Those who deny this truth become bound by ties that stifle their ability to act. True power players don't bond based on affection or sentiment. They calculate. They align only with those who move them forward. When you start thinking this way, you'll find human nature easier to manage. People will either want to join your side or oppose you, but either way, you decide the terms. What keeps you in power isn't devotion from others. It's your capacity to shape and control every interaction. Knowing that allies are tools and that their usefulness will shift over time gives you a critical edge. The most dominant leaders understand that loyalty is fleeting and alliances are always changing. Your success hinges on your ability to steer these changes, to use every relationship as a step forward. Those you call allies aren't friends, they're instruments, and you must know how to play them. Greatness is not for the hesitant or the morally bound. It is claimed by those who are relentless, cold, and focused solely on their aims. The world doesn't reward fairness. It favors the bold, the ones who take what they want without asking permission. Those who try to succeed through kindness or virtue will be crushed by those who understand the power of merciless ambition. The world is a battleground, and only those willing to destroy their rivals without remorse will climb to the top. The ruthless are not held back by guilt or ethical concerns. Their only compass is their personal objective. They know that to rise above the crowd, one must be willing to break whatever stands in the way. Ambition demands absolute focus, and that clarity can only come when you're willing to cast aside everything that slows you down. In the quest for dominance, There's no space for weakness. Fragility leads to collapse, and collapse leads to ruin. In a world governed by dominance, pausing is deadly. Those who delay, who doubt their choices, or who show mercy to rivals are bound to fall behind. The merciless understand that hesitation is the death of opportunity. Every move must be taken with conviction, with the awareness that speed and resolve are crucial. The relentless don't waste energy second-guessing, justifying, or wavering. They rely on instinct, on skill, and press forward with unshakable drive. They recognize that indecision is a crack in the armor, one that others will exploit, and they refuse to let themselves be exposed. To rise above, one must be willing to act in ways others find appalling, offensive, or even wrong. The relentless aren't concerned with public approval. They're prepared to do what must be done, regardless of how it's seen. If someone obstructs them or poses a threat, they are removed swiftly, whether through deceit, betrayal, or destruction. The merciless understand that fairness is a fantasy. All that matters is the unforgiving reality that power belongs to those prepared to seize it. To be ruthless is to reject the chains of convention. Society insists you must obey rules, follow ethics, but this is a facade. The road to control demands the rejection of moral illusions and the acceptance of raw strength. Compassion and nostalgia have no place in the battle for dominance. The world does not prize kindness. It honors strength, cunning, and the ability to outwit anyone in the way. True achievement is forged through tireless ambition, regardless of the sacrifice. It's a trait found in those willing to burn bridges, endure solitude, and destroy peace of mind to reach their aim. The determined sacrifice friendships, love, even themselves, if it brings them closer to their goal. In their view, no cost is too high. They ignore distractions, pleasantries, anything that pulls focus from their mission. Their singular obsession with power is what separates them from the feeble. To them, greatness isn't a reward. It's a condition of existence, earned through shrewd decisions and the will to do what others fear. They seek no praise and reject comfort. They chase influence, giving up anything that hinders progress. They know tough calls must be made, and that these choices will draw criticism and resistance. But they're unmoved by judgment. They care only for victory, for dominance, for keeping their place at the peak. The world promotes empathy, fairness, and generosity as virtues. But these are tools of the powerless, created to preserve an illusion of safety in a hostile world. If you aim for true greatness, you must abandon those fantasies. You must adopt a ruthless perspective, where every interaction is a battlefield, every exchange a means to control. You must be ready to forfeit feelings, sever bonds, and override conscience in the name of progress. Only by doing this will you rise above the masses and grasp the power you're destined for. The truths laid out here remain constant in the endless chase for strength and glory. Success is not for the sentimental or the hopeful. It is owned by those who grasp the necessity of cruelty, who see allies as assets to be used and cast aside when they outlive their usefulness. Only those willing to wear facades, accept brutal truths, and dominate their environment can mold their fate. The path to power is not for the sensitive or the fair. It is walked by the cold, the calculated, and the unstoppable. Those who can twist perception, shift tactics without remorse, and sever emotional ties without blinking. True influence demands seeing people as means to an end, viewing every bond as a deal, and acting without emotional burden. Greatness, as reflected in these principles, is not about virtue or popularity. It is about navigating the brutal game of power with accuracy, poise, and clarity. Influence belongs not to those moved by sympathy, but to those who strike boldly, who do not tremble, and who commit fully to their rise. Power demands total focus, a heart hardened to cost, and the awareness that in a world ruled by shifting alliances and fleeting chances, only the ones who break the rules can ever hope to conquer.